It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
Okay, I asked you to say, if I said who died today, you would say Major Cooper died. That was his big line in Day of the Dead. But he's already here, so
check one.
Won't be funny. Huh? You can take your glasses off. You know. Yeah, thanks. Look, hey, we can just lie down. I told you we'd have this day. Yes, we do have this day.
Check one, two. Check one, two.
Well, what do you want to know? All right,
Here you go.
Morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Hey, now I'm working. You're dead. No, I'm dead. I'm dead. All right, before other zombie performers get here, let's talk about Tom Savini. Brilliant, brilliant makeup effects designer, director, actor. I wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for my friendship with this guy. I was like 14 years old, calling his house, going over to visit him, and hanging out at his studio. So all of you guys that want to be makeup effects people, you just have to find somebody really cool to stalk, like I did when I was a kid.
Or just learn how.
Or learn. That's actually the better way. Learn how to do it, and then it pays off. But we were sort of talking earlier about people from Pittsburgh. When we did Land of the Dead, we shot in Toronto, and I remember George at one point, you know, we were at conventions, and there were a lot of people that were literally giving me their email addresses and saying, we want to come up to Toronto, we want to be zombies. Unfortunately, we were unable to get work permits for people to cross the border, so most of the people that were zombies in Land of the Dead were all Canadian actors and extras. So they weren't really even into zombie movies. They were just like the union said, you go to this spot this night, and they would walk into the makeup trailer and we would start gluing stuff to them. And it made me feel kind of bad because the people that make the best zombies are the people that saw Night of the Living Dead or saw Dawn of the Dead and have practiced their zombie walk. And if any of you in this room say you haven't practiced the zombie walk at one time, you are all fucking liars. Even Quentin Tarantino, we came to the Land of the Dead premiere in Pittsburgh. And we took Quentin to the cemetery where they shot the original Night of the Living Dead. And Quentin said, I've been waiting all of my life to do this. And he walked through the cemetery up to the exact tombstone where Johnny gets his head bashed in. And he had it to a T. And then Simon Pegg, who from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, he did the same walk. So you guys have everybody that's ever wanted to be a zombie has practiced their zombie walk from the first time they saw one.
Well, especially if you're born in Pittsburgh. If you're born in Pittsburgh, one of the things you want to be when you grow up is a zombie in a Romero movie, you know. So those people were coming up to us and saying, we want to be in Land of the Dead, we want to be a zombie. We were saying, sorry, you have to be Canadian, you know. So.
But the funny thing, too, is that, and we were a little disappointed because there were some fans from Toronto that lived there that I got to get to the set, and we did really great makeup on them and contact lenses. They were the best zombies. But the funny thing was that you'd see different zombies, and you'd see one guy like, we would change. What? Oh. Is that me? Maybe you're too close to that. We would see different people in the crowd, and we would nickname them. So we'd go, okay, here's this guy. That would be ice skating zombie. And then mics are off here. All right. Well, and then we see this guy. This is the good one. That would be get the hell out of my yard zombie. So there was this video from Land of the Dead where we would nickname every zombie walk of our own. So
we did the same thing in Night of the Living Dead. It was the James Mason zombie, or the Jimmy Stewart zombie, or the Catherine Hepburn zombie, because it was just something that they would do, you know, in their little zombie shtick. And it was easy, you know, send me the James Mason zombie, put that guy up front, because he had a personality and we knew him. The mics are off again, so.
She's playing with
Anybody have any questions? Are we getting more zombies coming in? More people who were zombies in the movie? Nobody knows.
Give that $5.
Before they show.
Yes, if they come running in, then we know that they're not Romero zombies.
What do you want to know? You want to know anything? Really? Okay, well, thanks for coming.
No.
How did you meet George? Oh, please raise your hand. What? What'd you say?
How did you meet George?
George came to my high school when I was a sophomore. He was casting a movie called Line of the Fawn, W-H-I. It never got made. But I did a screen test. Well, I was the only guy in the high school that he picked. Did a screen test. The movie was never made. So now I know him. Years later, I went and I showed him my portfolio to work on Night of the Living Dead. But I had enlisted in the Army at the time to stay out of Vietnam. And they called me in, and I went to Vietnam. Okay? So I was in Vietnam when he shot Night of the Living Dead. But we had a history going because of that high school thing that he did. You had a question?
Just want to know about your experiences on the remake of Night. Are you happy with the way the film?
No, my experiences on the remake of Night, that was the worst nightmare of mine. I still have nightmares that I'm on the set directing that movie. When I was there, I couldn't wait for the birds to start chirping at 6 o'clock in the morning so we could leave and go home. It was just a nightmare. George wasn't there. If George was there, it would have been a lot of fun. But there was 2 producers there who just made it impossible. You know, just about 30% of what I wanted to do in that film. However, they had a midnight showing in Pittsburgh 6 months ago, and Q&A at 11 o'clock beforehand. And I went to do the Q&A, and my intention was not to watch the movie because I didn't feel that great about it. And I started watching it, and it was the first time I could be objective. And it's good. The actors are tremendous. There's a lot going on there. It's a little bit more of a sequel than the original, you know. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's good. And even today, there are certain movies that critics put down, and there's a syndrome that is 25 years from now, those critics keep their words when the movie becomes a classic. You know, I'm not saying it's a classic yet, but it's the same syndrome.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Anybody else? Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten any negative feedback from any of your gore sequences from any of your movies, like people up in arms?
Yeah, there's a big article that something about how many women I've killed, okay, in movies. Something about how many women I've killed, and apparently I apologize for killing. There's a real zombie. No, it was the most famous zombie there ever was, Bill Hinzman. But not really. They think of it as art. They think of it as the new exhibit from your favorite artist, you know. So people are pretty open-minded about the gore, you know. Mr. Hinzman. Sharon, Clayton. Hey, look. I'm not the host. You have to shake my hand. Anyway, I guess we're going to pass this around because the portable ones aren't working that well. Any other questions? Let me sit here. Introduce everybody. What are you guys doing? Sharon and Clayton, Russ Stringer? Who's that guy? Howard Sherman? Kyra Schon? Bill Hinzman? Nicotero? Need one more chair? Anyway, we just opened it up for questions.
Hey there. Come on here.
Now that everybody's here, yes, way back there.
Nice crap. What would you call it? Steve or anything you've done in any movie?
What's the goriest thing I've done in any movie? God. You know, the first thing that comes to mind is the scalping from Maniac, you know, or blowing off my own head in Maniac. That was pretty, that was pretty gory. Thank you. Anybody else? There you go. Big Daddy is here. Right there. He's the warm-up act, right? Yeah. He's late. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Speaking of Maniac, how was it working with Joe Spinell?
Joe Spinell was a lot of fun. You know, he was a fun guy. He was a generous guy, too. Sylvester Stallone was shooting Nighthawk at the same time. So Joe said, hey, Tom, come with me. Got in the cab, took me to the set, met Stallone, you know, and hung out on the set while they dragged somebody out of the stretcher, you know. So it was fun. And he was a good guy. Yeah. You know about his death, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I gave him his fake head from Maniac, and he put it on his television in his apartment. And when he died, he actually fell and hit his head, and he bled to death on the floor. When the police came, they came in, and his feet were facing the door. So when they came in, there was his body, and they saw the head on the television, and they thought it was really going to be something, but then they realized it was a fake head. Any other questions? No? Well, thank you for coming. Come on, guys. Yeah, right over there. We'll get you in a second, okay?
Is there any actor I'm dying to put it? You know, you name who? Meryl Streep. Not even his choice, right?
What the fuck is wrong with you people? They're dead! They're fucking dead, and you want to teach them tricks?